All right, so far we've edited the image by making it pop. We've retouched it, and now we want to save it for online use. Maybe not this image, but your own images. So what I want to do is I want to show you how to properly size your images for online use. We need to make sure that the resolution is set for online versus print. If not, you're going to find that the image is going to take longer to upload, and then those that want to view that image, it's going to take longer for their browser to load that image if it's much larger than it needs to be. So we could upload this image right now as is, but it is too large. So if we take a look at the image size by going up to image and selecting image size, it's going to show the width, the height, and the resolution. So the resolution is 72 for this particular image. Now your images may either be a resolution of 72, 240, or 300. Those are the three most popular sizes. There are other resolutions as well, depending on your camera's settings and how it saves that particular file and the resolution of that camera. Or if you're getting it from a smartphone or a tablet, again, the resolution is going to be dependent on the device used to capture that image. So here's a quick tip on resolution and the settings you should apply for online use. When it comes to posting images online, the largest resolution we need is actually 72. It's perfect for online viewing. Now, if you're going to send that image out for print, it depends on the printer and the material that it's being printed on, and that's going to determine the resolution that you want to set it for. In most cases, it's going to either be 240 or 300 for the resolution. So we're going to cover this more later on in the course, but I just wanted to give you a quick tip on what you should set the resolution for your images. So since we're going to post this online, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, our own website, whatever the case may be, we want to make sure the resolution is 72. The next thing we need to decide on is the width and the height. So we're going to take a look at some sizes that Facebook recommends for their social media platform. If you take a look at your Photoshop Essentials guide, you will find a link to this page that will show a listing of the recommended sizes for different social media platforms. So Facebook, we have different sizes required or recommended for the profile picture, the cover image, newsfeed posts, and much more. So you want to make sure you select the correct size depending on where you're posting that image. So you'll notice that a lot of these have a width of 1200 pixels wide, but the height is different. So the maximum size that Facebook recommends is 1200 pixels wide, but depending on where it's placed, it's actually going to be much smaller than 1200. If we take a look at a shared link image post, this blue rectangle right here represents where it's going to be placed on Facebook. And this part of that post or that image is not 1200 pixels wide. It's actually 470 pixels wide. So they still recommend 1200 because this gives viewers an option to see that image at a larger size, up to 1200 pixels wide, when they click on that image. Now, as far as the height, it's not as set in stone as 1200. You can actually go higher depending on where you're posting that image on Facebook. That way, if you have an image that is taller than wider, you can still post it even though it's larger than 628 pixels tall. All right, so in order to resize, we just need to take these dimensions and post it into the image size to resize it. But we're not going to do that for the height, just the width. So let's go ahead and go back to our image here. So all you have to do is click inside of here to highlight that number and then type in 1200 And then it's going to automatically adjust the height to keep that image in proportion. If not, then you need to click on this little icon so it automatically updates the height for you. And that's it. Once you click OK, you now have a resized image that can be used for online use. Now I'm going to share with you 3 different ways you can save this particular file to post on Facebook. Now my personal recommended way of saving files for Facebook use is to save it in a file type known as PNG. It doesn't compress the image as much as a JPEG file, and then that image tends to be sharper and of a higher quality when uploaded to Facebook, because Facebook is going to take that image and compress it even more than what happened in Photoshop when you save it as a PNG or even a JPEG file. So that's why you may have seen your quality of your images deteriorate after uploading to Facebook. So let's go ahead and export to PNG by going up to File, select Export, and then Quick Export as PNG. Go ahead and click Save, and it's going to append PNG to that file. Another method of saving the image is to save it as a JPEG file. So we can go up to File and select Save As. I'm going to go ahead and add a number 2 on the end of this, click Save, and then we have some options for that JPEG file. So this is going to let Photoshop know how much you want to compress that particular file. The more it's compressed, the lower quality of the image. So for me personally, I like a quality of 10. You can actually go up to 12, which will give you a higher quality image, but personally, I can't really see the difference between 10, 11, and 12. And then for the format options, I tend to leave it on baseline for my JPEG files. Now, when I'm outputting for online use, I use a different method if I want a JPEG file. I will only use this option when I want to save that file for use for printing purposes. So I'm going to go ahead and cancel out of this. Now let's go up to File and select Export again, and then this time Save for Web. So this is going to give you, this is going to show you what the image is going to look like after you apply different compression options. So by default, you may have the original tab selected, which is right here. So come over here and click 2 up. Then if you don't have JPEG selected here, just click here and select JPEG. From here, we can adjust the quality of that image when it's saved. So we have low through maximum. By default, I believe high is selected with a quality of 60. So you can adjust the quality here, and then it's going to update to this option, which is very high once you get to 80. So I like to use 80 at the minimum, and we'll go all the way up to 100, which is the maximum, depending on what I see in these 2 windows right here. So at the top, we have our original image, and below that, we have our saved compressed image and what it's going to look like after it's compressed. So right now, the quality is set at 100, so there's no visual difference between the 2. But if we take a look at the file size, the file sizes are much different. So it's about 4 times smaller versus the original. So if we take this down to very high, or a quality of 80, the file size gets even smaller. So it's going to upload faster and download faster for those that are viewing on a smartphone, tablet, computer, whatever. It's definitely going to load faster at a smaller size. Now, if we take a look at the image, it's very hard to see any difference in quality from the original and the compressed file. So in that case, I may even go lower, and this time I'm going to do 60, and I still visually cannot see much difference between the image. And of course, we can always navigate to another part of the image by clicking and dragging. So there's really no difference between the original and a quality of 60, but again, the size has dropped again. So we want to bring the quality down as low as possible so that we really don't see a difference between the two, so we can get a smaller file size, which is going to give everybody a better user experience. All right, so those are 3 different ways to save your images and how to resize for online use. Now it's your turn. Go ahead and apply this knowledge to your own images. Edit, retouch it, resize it, save it, post it online.